guys. Unexpected podcast. We are here, episode 10.
Episode
We
10.
got a very special guest today. Two of them. These are
Urban Collab.
Urban Collab.
Yo,
We have-
what's
Yo.
going on?
We have Hype and Sam.
Welcome,
Shout 'em
welcome,
out.
welcome.
Thank you for having us.
What up?
Thank you. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Besides this heat.
it is hot today.
Crazy.
Out of it rained today, which was like, all right.
Yeah.
I actually walked my dog, and then I had to run inside.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We literally got inside and then it just downpoured.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Sometimes it's good, but at the wrong time, as he said, if you're outside or something. I was outside, so I got caught up in it.
Yeah, I got caught in the rain and. Gotcha. Well, I had a photo shoot for my kids and then I got caught in the rain. It's been a horrible weekend for me.
Oh man.
Damn. Did you
So-
finish that or no?
Yeah,
The
we
photo shoot?
finished the photo shoot. It's just that we were supposed to have a whole party and stuff set up for the kids. And
Oh.
the weather be CT weather be OD.
Yeah,
and
it's
the weather
crazy.
channel you can never
Bipolar.
trust that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
Damn you, Mother Nature.
Yeah. Damn you. Yeah. So I'm trying to find my questions. I'm
Yeah.
like unorganized right now.
You're good.
I think,
You're
I
good.
think he's a little nervous because
A little bit. He is. He is.
Yo, no need to be
You-
nervous.
Yeah.
You met them before, 3
Yeah,
times
no, I
already.
know. It's just I'm
Yeah,
like
no
I'm
need
like
to
all
be
over the
nervous.
place. Usually they know how I am. I have my stuff written
yeah,
down.
he's got a
I'm
nice
like-
set of questions for
But
you
I'm
guys.
like I'm a little bit like all this morning I've been up and
Running around.
Come on, give
and,
it
and,
to
and,
me.
and
Doing that
normally,
photo shoot.
yeah. And normally you actually kick off the show. You're like the main host. He's the co-host. So this is like a little freestyle.
yeah.
But we're good. Just go ahead with your questions, and then we can go from there.
So yeah, well everyone knows you guys are Urban Collab.
Yep.
You guys are the biggest show in CT when it comes to clothing, sneakers. I mean, a
Definitely.
lot of people just think you guys just do sneakers,
Mhm.
but like what do you guys do? What else do you guys bring to the neighborhood, to the area?
Talk to him, Sammy. Talk to him.
So yeah, I think that when we began, a lot of the focus was sneakers, right? Because Hype is a big sneakerhead, and that's kind of like her vision and what she had seen. But I think as we've gone to more shows and we've developed our show, we've realized that it really is a culture and a community, right? So sneakers is a small portion of it. Fashion is a big part of it. Collectibles is a big part of the world. Like, you never realize how many sneakerheads are into like Pokemon, right? Things like that. So I think if you're a collector of things. There's not one specific thing. So if you collect sneakers, you probably collect fashion. You probably collect collectibles. So that's how we kind of were like, you know what, let's make this more than just a sneaker event, right? Because there's so many other facets to it.
So based off of like now that you have your own show and like it's where it's at now, if you can go back in time and just if you could take one thing and be like, hey, I wish I knew this when I first started off the bat, what would that be? Like, what was your biggest obstacle?
For me, I would have to say, cause I would honestly have to say, it would be who we work with. That's like the biggest thing, because it's like you work with a lot of people, you try to collaborate with a lot of people, and then you just notice that like a lot of people do like messed up business. So it's like, man, do I really want to work this person type? You know what I'm saying? Or do you know? So I feel like that's the biggest thing when it comes to it, is like the collaboration and the working with other people, and sometimes really getting burnt from that.
Yeah. This is pretty much a full-time job. I mean, when we went to the first show, even the second show, you guys handled it perfect.
Thank
But
you.
and and we're looking at it from the outside, but I'm sure like your first show is just the two of you,
Yeah.
and then having all these people, like you guys did such a great job connecting all these different
Vendors.
and people, and it's just amazing on how you did that.
Thank you.
Would you say, like, if you had one thing to say to someone that was coming into the sneaker show industry, what would you say they should really get a heads up on?
Well, this is going to come off a little cocky, but we don't really give advice. And Sammy, you can talk about that a little bit more.
That's
Why?
good.
No, I
Yeah,
That's good.
Hey.
Yeah,
Well,
I need to know.
I think a part of it is because, right, it's like a recipe. There's no secret, right? We don't have any special thing that we do that we were like, oh, someone told us to do this and now it's working great. No, things are literally blowing up behind the scenes at the event and nobody knows because we just make sure we take care of it. So I think that it's just trial and error. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to learn. And I think being humble is the biggest part because you can easily fall on your, on your face. So you have to be humble
Definitely
in the whole
that.
situation and just know that you don't know everything, and you can learn from anybody.
That's a fact. And I think that's like, you really wrapped that up and you really said that pretty well. I feel like, honestly, when it really comes to things, it's like we do this in our living room, man. Like, no cap, like, you know what I'm saying? Like long nights, early mornings type. You know what I'm saying? Like those vendor passes y'all was wearing. We print all of those out at our house and cut them out
wow.
and put them all in every single individual thing. Like
And that's
Wow.
like thousands.
Yeah.
Between the vendors and
Exactly.
and all the other passes that you guys offer.
Exactly. So like
Respect
we do all it, like we do all of that work. So when it really comes down to like trying to give other people advice, or it really comes down to, it's not like any type like, oh, we're these type of people or whatever the case may be. It's more of the situation. It's like you have to live and learn.
Go
Like, that's
through
the
it
only,
themselves.
That's the
Right.
only thing that's going to make your business strong.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And relationship building, I would say too, because like the biggest thing in this is like the relationships you create, right? And being a solid person. It's important for us to make sure that we show up. If someone asks us to do something, like it doesn't matter if we worked all day and we're exhausted, like we try to show up for the smallest thing. So that's why you always see us out at sneaker events, see us out at things, because we feel like we can't ask you to be a part of something that we're creating if we're not putting the time into
Talk
being a
to
part of
'em.
something for others. So I think relationships has really carried us a lot. Everybody at our first event, I knew every single vendor
Every vendor.
by name or by business name, because we went and we worked the events and met people and got them to believe in us, because we were just two people that nobody knew of. So for them to put that trust in us and to really spend that money with us and be a part of our, our first event, and then for our second event to even be like, yo, where you guys are going to Mohegan? Oh, we don't even know what this is gonna look like, but hey, we're gonna ride the wave with you guys. It really was because we built those relationships and that trust.
So what kind of inspire you to create the show?
So I'm gonna honestly, nobody's ever really asked us that, so
Okay.
I can keep it a stack.
Okay.
Yeah, no, keep it unexpected, keep it 100. That's what we want. I'm not. We just want, like, I know we all just sitting down for the first time.
Yeah.
Like we know of you, you know of us. You treated us well in the shows and all that. We love that. We do appreciate that. We truly support what y'all doing,
We appreciate
because
that.
you guys come from you guys are our voice for like the urban industry, the urban out there, the streets, this and that with sneakers. So like we just, that's why it made us want us to bring you on so much more. It's not even the fact like let's say you had the first show and the second show, and let's say they were not great or whatever.
Yeah.
Thank God they weren't. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But I would still want to bring you on because you guys are the first show. You set that path.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been collecting sneakers since 2011.
Okay.
And when I first started buying shoes, I know there was sneaker shows, but it wasn't a thing. Like,
Yeah.
for all these years, your first show in the XL was it right there.
Thank you.
Then I'm like, I got cards for this show, all these shows, and that came after y'all brought it
Yeah.
to the Connecticut, to Hartford.
To
Y'all made it
Hartford.
a thing. Like,
Yeah.
people are looking for it. So
Yeah.
So one thing that I noticed from you guys is, I've been following you guys, since the Urban Collab was created. Type
Oh,
of stuff.
thank
Or
you.
even like before that, because when I first saw the show,
Yeah.
you guys bringing it out to to the XL, I told Noel, I was like, yo, we should look
Gotta
into
go.
that, because
Yeah.
this stuff is like, we have full-time jobs.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
Definitely.
pretty sure all of us in here.
Yeah,
so
definitely,
Kind of
definitely.
like a hobby type of stuff.
Yeah.
So for us, like to sell, it's not like I don't like going out there and like meet up with somebody and.
So for the transaction,
for
right.
transaction, I prefer like Excel Center.
Yeah.
Completely safe, worked out well.
So
Yeah.
we felt comfortable, like when we first saw the show, as he was saying, we're like, oh, we gotta mess with them, like, and we went, and it was all love, and it was exactly
Yeah.
what we expected,
So,
and that
actually,
was dope.
If I'm not mistaken, like you guys like did videos right prior. Well, I've seen your videos of like
Yeah.
going to different shows.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were going up to like other bigger,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how do I get a show and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, just like getting their knowledge and like seeing, like you said, like how you asked us, but that's the same thing
So
most
now,
people
you
said
know,
to us. I don't really have a secret to tell you. It's like, okay.
Okay.
Exactly,
you know?
when,
It just happens.
Yeah.
Literally.
There's no
because the
science.
advices that when he asked you about advice and things like that,
Yeah.
the advice you guys ended up getting a lot of advice from all the shows you guys been.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
understand if you cannot really give out something because you're still kind of like
Yeah.
bringing all that in.
Well, and I think it's also a matter of like I don't really think you learn anything from the other people who host shows. I think you learn from the vendors.
Yeah.
So that's why those relationships are important, right? Because I can talk to you and say, hey, how was the load in and the load out at that event you just went to last weekend? And they can,
Hold on. Shout out to Unknown Closet, Makai.
Unknown Clothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick you.
Yo, pause.
Shout them out.
Yeah, let's do
She
it.
kept doing that at the show. And
Yeah,
he was
and
like,
then
yo, for real, you kept calling me the wrong place.
Unknown Clothing, Makai. Shout out to you
Yeah,
because
that's our boy.
that's my boy, and I feel like he really helped and guided us
In the beginning, a lot.
a lot. So shout out to him. But yeah, shout out to Makai. Shout out to Unknown Clothing, not Closet.
Where the horns at?
Yeah, where the horns at? Drop something from.
So when would you say in your life did you see this is my calling?
Serious, like you took it serious.
Oh, yeah, girl, you gotta go back and talk about how it.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
So how
Sorry.
it first started, we didn't even get into that.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us, give us a story here.
It's because that's some unexpected stuff. you know?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
tight. So basically, how we started, and this is like no cap. We went to Got Soul, and I don't ever like to really promote them, but I don't have a problem with them. I like John and them, so I don't really have a problem with them. So shout out to Got Soul. We went to their event at Gillette Stadium, and I was like, yo, let me check this out. Let me see what it's about. That's like my first sneaker event.
Yeah,
that
the
I
same
went
as you
to.
guys.
Us
We didn't
too.
really go to sneaker events.
I didn't really
she
go to
collected
sneaker-
personally, but
Yeah, and I was always the type to not really ever buy from resellers because I'm a flight club fanatic from the start. Like I'll go and just pay full price for it. So we went. I was like, yo, this is really big. Number one, people couldn't get in. And I remember how that went at
that
Gillette.
line was crazy.
Mine was crazy. People couldn't go, and I was like, yo. So I'm just sitting there looking at the vendors. They said 400. I'm just going around counting the vendors, counting the money. I'm like, yo, let's do it.
There's money to be made.
I'm like, let's
Yeah, but
do
it was
it.
like, this is crazy. Like,
I'm
what?
like, you know what I'm saying?
How do you
And-
even do this?
and like two white kids, I'm like,
Then we
Alright.
started looking them up, and we're like, they're so young.
young, they're still in
We're
college.
like, how are they even like putting something like this together? Like, where are they finding these people?
Right.
Because that was my biggest question. Was like, where are these people? Because we like sneakers, and you might meet. She had like a guy she used to buy from.
Couple
that
plugs,
would meet.
right?
Yeah.
But it was like, but beyond that, it was like, where are these crowds of people that are just selling boxes and boxes of sneakers?
Right, full size run for every
Yeah,
sneaker.
That
so
Right?
it was
part,
like,
right.
and how are they tapping into them? Like, where are they finding them at? So
Yeah, it's like they come out the cracks, you know.
Yeah,
it's
literally.
crazy.
So,
Been doing it for a long time, 15
yeah,
years.
and that's the thing. They've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Like they started inside of a school, so that's like how they started.
The
so,
gyms, yeah.
The gyms,
Right.
yeah. So I was like, yo, let's put on a sneaker event. She's like, all right, cool. So we rented out this small place in Manchester.
it was like a little theater. Our friend had like a festival there or something.
Yeah,
we were
so I
like,
was
oh,
like,
that place
we
looks
can't-
like
we
it's affordable.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, bet. So we'll put in, I think the place is like two bands. So I'm like, bet, I can pay that off myself. I'm like, that's nothing. Like, even if we don't get people, at least bills are paid.
Because that was the whole thing we were thinking. We're like, all right, what if this flops, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Are we going to be in the red?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
To
right.
keep it a buck, right?
Two
Because
bands.
we're paying for this out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like, how do we make sure that we keep costs low, but maybe get a few people to show up?
Yeah. So I was like, bet. We put out a.
We started going to those parking lot.
Oh yeah, CT. Shout out to Necessity. Shout out to, shout out to
Is it?
Necessity.
All of them.
Connecticut,
Connecticut.
CT
Yeah, they
Kicks.
Thank
used to
you,
do a little
yeah.
parking lot
Shout out
next
to
us
all of
from
them, 'cause
the-
those are
the
our
Target.
boys.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Target.
Actually,
The
their
one out
first-
here.
Yeah, the one out here.
Their
Oh, wow.
event that they had
Oh,
indoors
Okay, I know what
Okay.
you're talking
was
about.
our
Okay,
old
okay.
venue. That
Oh.
event in Manchester
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
was our old venue that
Okay.
we wanted to get out of our contract with them. So wait, we jump
Yeah,
into
Okay,
it.
run
yeah,
it back,
'cause
run it back.
You, this is like
Let me
unexpected
Dropping
for
gems.
real. Because I thought your
Nobody's
first
ever
event
heard
was
this.
Excel. Yeah.
No, nobody's
No.
ever heard about this. So we was gonna talk about this on the podcast. So you guys are actually hearing it first.
Okay. Thank you.
Exclusive.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are literally hearing it first.
Breaking
We're
news.
saving all these gems for our
Justin.
podcast. But we rented out that place and we literally was at 30 vendors, no cap, like our first week. And our max there was like 40. And I was like, bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what are we gonna do? She's like, yo, I think this is gonna be bigger than what it needs to be. She's like, why don't we start checking out some other venues? And I'm like, all right. She's like, what about? Because she's not from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
She's
Okay.
from Rhode Island.
Okay.
So we was like, yo, what about? We look at some other places, and I'm like what? she's like, what about that big place downtown? I'm like, what, the convention center? I'm like, hell, I'm like, nah, that ain't it. And she's like, no, like the XL Center. I'm like, you're bugging.
Even bigger.
I'm like, you're bugging. You're bugging. So she's like, no, let's go. So she made the appointment, right?
Yeah, I was like, just let's look at it. You know, what could hurt? We look at it. We get numbers. We say no. We already say yes. Like, right?
So we said yes, and it was a big, huge gamble because I'm like, yo, like, how are we going to be able to pay all of this?
Right.
They had never
From
did
2000.
anything like that.
They've
so
never
they
done
didn't
anything.
know. Like,
It was our very first event, but we already had about 40 vendors. That was like a hard yes. We didn't even put the event right. People was already trying to give us money. So we're like, you know what, bet. These like 30 vendors that we got that's already locked in for the low, we'll keep them at the low.
Okay.
And now we're going to go to the XL Center, and that's where the event is going to be.
Okay, so you never had it over there.
Never.
Okay,
No.
because
Never.
it would have been so you saw the bigger
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never. We weren't able to. We were selling. We had 30 tables.
yeah,
And
we
why
already
we-
outgrew the space, and then we were like, as we were starting to like plan it, we're like, there's so many logistical parts that go to planning a sneaker event because
Yeah.
you don't really think about it on from your end. Like, I'm not carrying in those boxes, right? So it's like, I don't realize how much work it is for somebody else to bring all those things to a place.
That's a
Like,
fact.
they need a loading area. They need so many different things.
Time,
So like
yep.
when you're planning, that's the stuff you have to think about.
And that
but
loading
we-
process has to be
it has to be
smoothest
immaculate. Yes.
ever, because that's what you guys complain about.
Yo,
the
that
most,
will
is the
kill
loading
you.
process.
If a place has a bad loading process, that's the first thing you hear about from people.
So that brings me to this. So what's some constructive criticism that you've gotten from your shows? I know people don't like to talk about the
Oh,
bad
yeah,
part.
definitely.
No,
What,
definitely.
what Wi-Fi?
Yeah, well,
Well,
what?
that's
that's
the
the
whole
thing.
thing.
Hence the reason why we didn't go back
Oh,
to the
yeah.
XO Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I personally want to bring it back to the
Yo,
XL
me too.
Center.
I like
I like
that-
the- I like the
that
XL
you
Center.
can drive it, and we are trying to
It's in a
bring it
tough.
back.
We're in a tough space because we grew really fast, right?
Yes.
So like when we were talking about Got Soul, for instance, they started in gyms, right?
Right.
So it's like we didn't really get a chance to like
Start in the gym.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we just kind of went there, and then now you're at a place where you're like,
What do we do now?
we can't backtrack.
Right.
You can.
We're not going to
elevate
gym right
or
now.
Stay,
Hell no.
stay
Hell no.
consistent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If we ever go to the gym, it'll be a free event.
Right,
free
exactly.
ice cream.
Right.
But
People
Hey,
for
that's
but
what-
community.
that
some
puts a lot of
gyms.
pressure
I mean,
on
if you
you.
go to a college gym,
Definitely.
that's like a
Yeah.
big thing. Is not, you know, people would love to do that too. It's different.
It'll be
Yeah.
a free event.
Yeah, but like you know how you say you jumped and you know you didn't get the whole gym experience. It's like it goes back to what I was saying where y'all paved that.
Yeah.
You know y'all were going back and forth. Started with the Manchester idea. Then you know
Yeah.
you saw it was growing too fast. So you was like, you know, let's go bigger. You took that risk, and you know if you go back to history, you see that people that really want to succeed and want to push at things,
Start
they
small.
take those risks.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
if you
Mohegan Sun was a huge.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm always the I don't gamble.
That was another gamble,
But
right?
I'm always like, yo, you should just.
Mohegan Sun. I'll just
That
say
that place is big and it's even bigger than what I had.
Yeah, that's so Mohegan Sun is 120,000 square feet.
If you use the
If
entire
you use
space.
the entire thing, we used only half of it.
That-
which
that's
is
still big.
70,000
That's still
Yeah, we
big.
used
square
about
feet.
70,000 of it though.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so when you think about it, when we sit and we like, yo,
Analyze everything and think about it.
Mohegan Sun.
I mean, when we went
For
to
the whole year.
even Mohegan Sun, that was like, she was like, no, because the funny thing is when we went to the XL, she had actually emailed Mohegan Sun
Yeah.
at that time.
I was
But we
like,
were like, no way, like no way. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
the
you know,
numbers. I was like,
we're like, we'll stay
yeah.
at XL. We'll try to see what we can do. So then after the XL happened, and we talked to everyone, and people complained about the Wi-Fi and little certain things.
Yeah.
We were like,
The Wi-Fi is the biggest thing at
the
XL.
Wi.
Center.
Yeah, because you need to see the
food was a big
market
thing.
all day
That's a-
long.
Yeah,
You're
the
right.
food, yeah.
You're 100%
The food was a
right.
complaint too.
Yeah.
Those two, but those are major components, right?
But you had Wi-Fi and food at the other event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
amazing
yeah.
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
for
and
Mohegan.
The best
amazing
part is
food.
you can just go out and bring whatever from the casino itself. And that was like when they told me that I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah, we like we that
had
was like
the
the first
alcohol.
thing. That was like on
Yeah.
the first thing on our list. We're like food,
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the
And even that
unloading
day,
was
I
dope
was
too.
like, Wi-Fi.
tried it
How's the
on-
Yeah, the
Wi-Fi
loading was
working?
nice and easy.
You know,
Yeah, right off
and
the
that's
bat.
not even like honestly. When I was there for the unloading in the XL, it was tight, but it was very organized. It
Yeah.
wasn't unorganized. If anyone did complain, maybe it was because you had to wait, but you gotta wait
Yeah,
in
yeah.
lines all everywhere in life. Mohegan was a big upgrade. Everyone pretty much went at the same time, which was great. But I think you guys handled XL for what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was anything bad.
I love the XL because number one, we had you talk about our downfalls. We had 100, almost 200 less people at this event at Mohegan than we did at XL. XL is centrally located, so I personally will always like that place because I can
Yeah.
always promote.
It's Hartford, and
It's
it
Hartford.
brings out the people in the community. Which
And not
that's
only
the
that,
thing
from
we
New York,
lose.
we got a lot of people from New York
Yeah,
that came.
the distance is hard with
The distance
Mohegan.
to Mohegan is hard. So I love the venue at Mohegan Sun. Shout out to Mohegan Sun. I love that venue so much. It's just I love the XL Center, man. I really do. I just love the location of it. It's just
Right.
centrally located.
It's perfect. So
Yeah.
is there hold on, is there a way to upgrade the Wi-Fi situation with XL?
I need to talk to them.
Yeah. There was conversation of like because we also are very transparent with the places that we go to as well. So I think we were very transparent with the gentleman we were working with at the XL about people's concerns, and I think that they really took it into consideration. So hopefully they've done some upgrades because I think it'll benefit them for other events as well. So I don't think it's just us.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that Connecticut, I don't know if you're familiar with Connecticut, they have theirs in the convention center. Is that an
Yeah.
option as well, or is that like?
I might as well just have it at Mohegan Sun if I'm
I
going to do it at the
know.
convention center.
Convention center is a
But
pretty penny.
it's like
Oh, yeah.
that.
It's more expensive than Mohegan
Really?
Sun.
Wow.
Okay, wow, I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
not-
so
I
the
would not
convention
thought that.
center is the first or second largest convention center up north.
Like
Oh,
in the
wow.
Northeast,
It's
yeah.
the biggest in New York. It is the biggest. It's bigger than Got Soul. That place that they have in that New Jersey area. New
And they
York,
literally just did a remodel, so
Yeah.
and when I tell you it's insanely gorgeous
it's
inside,
beautiful
it's
there.
beautiful.
They're working with 120,000 square feet there.
Yeah.
But that place is super expensive.
Yeah.
What you talking
I
about
know
convention
that.
center
Oh,
here?
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that's the square footage, 120?
I think
Oh.
that's the max that they have there. It's about the same.
Yeah,
as
and they
the-
have a ton of rooms. So you gotta think the convention center runs differently than like a place like Mohegan has other smaller rooms, but the convention center's main focus is conventions. So they have tons of rooms that you can swap in and out. But yeah,
their whole space is
their space
expensive.
is expensive.
So maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Never
I might as well just keep it at Mohegan.
Yeah, hey, like I
love
told you.
Mohegan.
But, hey, well, he likes to.
He-
we all
he's a
like to
gambler.
gamble.
Yeah.
Next, where the, where you guys had the VIP. There was one vendor on the left side.
Yep.
It looked like they literally ended up bringing the store.
Oh yeah.
And
Dirty
Shout out to
Laces,
Dirty Laces.
Oh, yeah,
our
yeah.
VIP vendor.
Rhode Island, right?
Yeah, from Rhode Island,
Shout
yeah.
out to Crook from Dirty Laces.
Yeah, he's the
So
man.
they had literally shelves.
Literally.
Yeah.
And the
They
fact-
they emptied their entire store.
So
Yeah.
the,
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
the fact the spot that you guys ended up at, the Mohegan, everything was literally on ground level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for them
They-
to do
they
To
something like
unload
that, it's
was
way
good.
easier.
They went
Yeah.
crazy. Shout out to Dirty Laces.
Yeah, no, they definitely showed out. That was one of their first
They
big
won the
shows,
best.
and
They won
wanted
out.
to
They
make
won
sure
the
they
best
showed out.
vendors too.
Yeah.
They won the best vendor table. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
you literally walk in there and it was like in a sneaker show. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a
yeah,
store.
shout out to
Yeah.
Dirty Laces.
But that's the whole thing, right? And it's supposed to be an experience, and I think that's the thing we've learned from going to enough shows is that we wanted ours to feel different. I think sometimes I laugh because we put a lot of it into the fact that we're females.
yeah.
Sometimes
We're the
we have
only-
a
wait.
different eye.
Yeah,
We're the only, and we can brag about this a
Yeah.
little bit. We're the
Okay.
only females in the game.
And the only African Americans.
We're the only
Okay,
females
respect
in
it.
the game.
Drop the horn. Let's go.
Definitely got clapped that.
I think the only other people of color are Hispanic.
Yes.
In
Okay.
Texas, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would say black and female us. We're
I
the
mean, but
only
you had to
ones,
say
yeah.
Texas. That's far.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's still
But
it's
we're
a
the
big
only
thing.
we're the only females in the game. If there's another female sneaker convention out
Please,
there
we wanna
and
come.
they didn't give you any type of love or any type of
Yeah.
respect, let us know. We'll shout you out. But right now we're the only ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, talking about like other shows and other like that, has anyone or is there plans? I don't want to like have you guys spoil anything, but is there any plans of collaborations with, let's say, I know they had the Barber Expo or like
Shout out to Jay Majors.
definitely. So, is there anything in the books for that, or is that something that you guys are interested in looking at in the future?
Hype don't like collaborating with nobody.
I was just about to say.
She's
okay.
the urban collab, but like to an extent.
Okay.
Well, the thing about it is she likes to collab with people until it starts to get into our pockets.
Okay.
Because the thing about that is, I mean, the whole point of these shows is to make money,
But
right?
pause. Keep it a stack. What it really is. Keep it 110% stack of what it
That
really
you don't want nobody's ideas. You want everything to be the way you want it to be. Because even we fight about that.
So would it just come down to like how that person is?
No, not
Or
even-
Does
you
it,
know,
does
she
it click
she
right?
want to make sure she has the full, complete control of the design of the flyer,
That's-
okay.
of the vendor pass. She doesn't
you
want
under the bus
anybody
here.
else to
I
have.
mean, yeah, that's
to
Creative
have that
control,
creative-
100%.
While I create everything,
Yeah.
she's telling me how to create it.
No, honestly, the Urban Collab is literally my baby. So when it comes down to the way things are set up, the floor plan, the way it's looking, who's next to each other, when people are like next to each other, that's all me. Like you guys were in the front row, not just by chance. Like,
Right. Thank you.
know what I'm
Appreciate you for
saying?
that.
Like,
Definitely
that's all by
appreciate
like people that supported us, people that's new to the event. Like I place people and I put people in certain areas because Urban Collab is literally my baby. But in terms of like collaborating with other people in the future, I feel like where the Urban Collab is going now and how we're moving and the direction that we're trying to go right now, I'm very, very open to collaborating with people because I'm starting to notice that I can't do it all by myself and it can't just be Sammy and I. Like,
But it's also in what capacity, right? Because
Yeah.
you still want to stay authentic and you still want to stay true to what we're creating. And sometimes bringing in other people brings in other people's ideas, right? So you have to be really,
stick to your concept.
yeah, you have to be really
Yeah.
intentional about who you choose to collaborate with.
Okay.
But that's definitely respectable, you know. And the honesty is what's gonna get you far because, you know, a lot of people like to sugarcoat it and not say, and then you know it looks shady in the end. If you come out all right, doors open and are open about what it is, then
Yeah.
there's nothing to hide behind that.
She mentioned that earlier. That,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Dealing with people.
Well, now you know this is this podcast, like we told you before we started. We just started pretty much. This is our 10th episode.
Couple months ago, right?
So
shout out to you guys.
definitely,
I know,
no, I
10
appreciate it.
episodes.
Thank
Big
you,
up
thank
to
you.
you guys. That's
Yeah, no, we
big.
hey, shout out to y'all. Y'all really made this for us. Like I told you
Yeah,
earlier, we do. You know, y'all paved a path,
Yeah, thank you.
and people. You know, there's two things to it. Y'all the first, but at the same time, everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
So everyone's looking at
Yeah.
you. You know, there's gonna be people looking at your downfall. There's gonna be people looking for you to
definitely.
move up, and then there's gonna be people looking to see what you're doing so they can copy it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
exactly. And
Yeah.
like you said, that's like your baby, you know. So,
Yeah.
Oh man.
knowing all this, what would you rate your show?
Oh my God. So it's funny because we were talking about this in the
Cause
car.
we going over the questions.
Huh?
I would rate
Yeah.
it. Go ahead. I would rate it a 5.
So we don't agree on this because I think it's how you look at it, right? So like in her opinion, I would say that you're saying a 5 because you think
5.
that there's always room to grow, right?
So hold on. This past event.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
give. I would
okay.
give this past event.
We're doing that at 10, yeah.
Okay.
1 to 10.
This past event.
And
Okay.
you say that because why?
So I would give our past event 4.5.
Less now.
XL or Mohegan?
Mohegan, go ahead.
Okay, and why?
No, you go ahead.
No, you have to say why.
You go, and then I'll say my why.
What's your rating?
So for me, honestly, I'm gonna have to say like a 9.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is because the how quickly we were able to get to that point and to be successful at that point, because I feel
They're
like
talking about our event,
Our
not about
event.
how we got there. They're talking about
Yeah,
our
the
event.
Just the event.
just the
Just
event.
not how we got
She's
there.
doing the hard rate, like,
Oh,
yeah.
just the event.
Just the
The
event.
event, I
Yeah.
would definitely say a 9 because I think that our event was solid. I think that it was well organized. I think that people had a good time. I personally did not hear one complaint from anybody. And I'm the person who literally walks around all day and says, "Hey, how's the event
Asking.
going? Hey, how?" So like, and I didn't hear any complaints. And even afterwards, I didn't hear any complaints. So
Why a 4.5?
Cause, so the Urban Collab for me and the event, looking at the event, is not where I want the event to be, and I'm
Okay.
gonna keep it a stack. I don't want to be a sneaker convention.
yeah,
That's-
but looking at the
Right,
event,
looking at the event, 'cause
looking
you're doing
at
the same
the
thing.
event, how would you say that?
The
Because it
outcome.
wasn't just a sneaker event.
Mohegan itself, you know, do you feel? I feel like it was a big upgrade from what XL was.
It was
And it could have been better to your point and to her point. It's always could be better, but don't be
Yeah.
too hard on yourself.
I
Like
think-
think about it, like all right,
You're right.
fine, 200 people less, and we kind of felt that too a little bit.
Yeah.
But is it because it was a bigger space or further distance to
Further
travel,
distance,
or the sneaker market kind of dipping a little bit
Yeah.
right now? It's all of that, right?
Yeah.
But was it profitable and was it just as successful when you compare it to
okay.
XL? Because it's like a twice the size, right?
Okay, I'll give it a solid 8.
Okay.
I'll give it a solid 8 because it's just how far we came, how crazy expensive Mohegan Sun is. Like ridiculously expensive.
But just think about the things that we accomplished there. Like,
Yeah.
we built out a whole selfie room. That was all our vision. That was all your idea.
Yeah.
The
It's
shirts
like
was cool.
Like, we,
Yeah.
we didn't do any of that
This
stuff at the
Shout
other
out
place.
to East Coast Print and Stitch, our
Yeah,
sponsor.
like our sponsors.
Yeah, I like them. They came out good. The font, the
shirts
color.
are like the material, the it just feels like a real shirt.
Shout out to East Coast Print and Stitch. They were our sponsors, and I feel like all around, like if other people are looking at the event, they'll give it a solid like 10, 9. I give it a solid 8. I think we could definitely improve on a lot for the event. There's a lot of things that I personally didn't like during the event that needs to definitely be improved, but there has to be somebody to criticize it, or we're never going
Yeah.
to be able to grow.
Right,
At
and
the
scale
show,
it.
You guys had a pre-order. Eventually,
Yes,
right?
yes, we're actually gonna. Those pre-orders most likely are gonna be but starting to be made most likely next week. So if you did
Is
get a
there
pre-order,
a way to still get a?
yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are gonna
All
be
the
put.
votes.
Yes, we got to get the promotion. So I personally don't like dropping anything or doing anything
Because
until.
Me and Noah were at the table the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, and the guys we were doing the podcast
Yeah.
stuff also. So we were trying to focus onto that. I wanted to get the shirt. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
because everything that was going on, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no,
definitely.
One of those shirts, the shirt it definitely has the vintage look.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna. It's the Casino C is definitely.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna be dropping that. Most likely not next week, but the following week we're gonna start. Really promoting it. I just need to get the promotion together. The promotion is not. I'm not just gonna put up a Instagram post.
Yeah,
and say,
everything she
t-shirt.
does has to be a production. So
More
as you saw
thought
with
out.
as you saw with our first T-shirt
We had a whole
drop,
video. They were in
It
a
was a
coffee
whole thing.
store,
Yeah,
like-
that was cool. That
So,
was cool.
we
when
gotta-
she thinks of shirts, she thinks of concepts. It's not just like a shirt. It's like
Yeah.
a whole.
I gotta get the space. I
Story
really
behind it.
with the casino tee. I really want. This is the vision for it. I really want like there to be a group of people with the casino T-shirt on, and like low lights, and like we're playing cards. People like, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
type, and but they all have that shirt on, and I want that to be the video. I just need to get it together.
Yeah.
That brings me to ask, what made you get into the whole pin thing? Because I know that was a big thing you were pushing
I don't
too.
even have none on it. I should have
Yeah.
brought some for you guys.
And we, if
Oh,
you
man,
noticed
I
at our
usually bring
event, we
stuff.
had a whole row of hat and
pen.
pins, which
Well-
is not very much seen in the sneaker community, right? Like you're starting to see a little bit more of it.
I feel like people-
at events.
I feel like
but
people say that they're the hat and that they're official
the hat
hats
and pin.
and pens and
Yeah.
but I don't really feel like it's okay. So when I look at this whole Urban Collab thing, I look at culture, right? There's people that monotonizes on certain things. So like the hat and pen stuff, they'll be like, yeah, like we're the official hat, the only hat and caps of the sneaker game. I'm not saying any names or saying anyone, but they'll say that, right? But they're not tapped into
They're
no
not
one.
in the culture.
They're not tapped in. You're not tapped into. You're not tapped
You're not
into
going to
Goose.
hat
You're not
drops,
tapped into
you're not
Mo.
going to-
You're not tapped into AMS. You're not tapped into
Yeah.
some of the true bones. You're not.
Bones, yep.
Like I can call him up on my phone right now. I can call these people up on my phone right now because it's not that. It's because we can swear on this.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
fucks
yeah.
with them. I really
Yeah.
fucks with them the long way. Like
Yeah.
I really do. So
It's not no fake stuff. It's not no, oh, they're just rocking with us because they're coming to our event. No,
Nah.
it's because we truly support them.
yeah, and I truly like
Yeah,
we've
it's
been
true
to
relationships.
we've been to a lot of pen events. So when you really look at it, it's like I'm really for me personally, anything that you see at the event and stuff that
You truly collect.
I
She's
truly
a
collect and I
collector
really
of these
really like.
things.
Like I'm
Yeah.
wearing bullshit. I had a Michael Jordan bedroom set at the event. Like I love hats and you will never see me without a hat. I have a whole thing of hats and pens. Like we make our own pens. Like it's stuff that I truly we both
Yeah.
like. Like
It's
you
not
like
just,
art.
we don't just do this stuff because we're like, oh, this is the new cool thing. So let's like hop on that bandwagon. You know, like everybody,
vulture. No,
all the
vulture.
hat and pin people that were at our event are genuinely people that
We mess
we're
with.
friends with. We have we talk to them. We have phone numbers. Like it's not just like, oh, come to our
We're going
event
to
because we
their
want
weddings,
people.
like-
Yeah, like
That's
it's
what's up.
it's real friendships. You know what I mean? So like even to have shout out to Fitted Foods, even to have him at our event,
Shout
like
out from Cali.
like he came from
Wow.
Cali. Like granted, he came for his his girl was having a hat drop and that was dope. But he didn't have to tap into us. He could have been like, I'm gonna just come to my hat drop and then I'm gonna go back to Cali. But he really hype up like, yo, I want to come to your event. Like I want to be a part of it. And that was love. Like so
Yeah.
like when we say that people that are at our events, the relationships that we build with them is truly genuine relationships we have with these people.
That part.
That's real cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't think y'all saying it, and I don't know if y'all know y'all doing this, but I think y'all paving a hat community right here because, You're
We're trying
right.
to-
I've
that's what
never
we're trying
seen.
to do.
I don't know about hack communities, and
Hey, but you go when Pen Wars comes back because we had Pen Wars at our event. Now you go to Pen Wars live when they're live Instagram. We're talking 150 people in their Instagram live religiously for Pen Wars.
Yeah.
wow.
Religiously for Pen Wars. It's not the season isn't right now. I'm not sure when they're having their season again. But you go into their Instagram live and you have 150 people at the minimum in their live. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope. It's people showing off their pens, telling a story why they dressed up their hat like that. Like their pens, they having a whole story. It's comical. It's funny, but it's like
Or even just going to hat drops, like
going to hat drops.
we
It's
didn't
like
even,
sneaker
that's a
drops
whole
back in the
world we
day.
didn't even really like know about. Like she loved hats, but we would just buy hats. Like it was never like a
Yeah.
you know. And then we started meeting people and going to these hat drops, and it's really its own community. Like
Yeah.
when I tell you they go out there at 10 o'clock in the morning and they like got coolers, they got chairs, like they're
It's a
really
vibe.
a vibe of in a community. Like they really come out and support each other. People just selling each other their pins.
Yeah, and I
it's
never
crazy.
thought I'll pay over $200 for a damn hat, but I
Wait,
did.
what? Hold up.
Yeah,
Seriously?
Yeah.
hell
Is
yeah.
that serious?
Oh,
I'm not
it's
trying to downplay no
crazy.
hat collectors, nothing like that. I
Yes.
got a big head, so I can't wear hats. And I sweat a lot,
Yes.
so they be messed up. But I stopped
Yes.
wearing hats like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
But the community's that big,
It's
like
crazy.
seriously.
What?
Nothing against you hat watchers. I love y'all.
No,
Hey,
it's crazy.
the all the
200
more,
and some-
but
Yo,
I never
spent-
realized how much of a community, and it's like they have their own pockets of community too. So it's like
It's groups
the
within
hat
groups and
club
groups.
people, then the My
Shout out to-
Fitteds people.
shout out to Noel.
Like
Shout out
they're
to My
all their
Fitteds.
own like crews. It's just crazy. It's really awesome to watch like them flourish in their own like area because they come into the sneak. Now I feel like we're kind of bringing them into the sneaker
That's what he
world
was saying,
in
yeah.
terms
We're
of
trying
like
to
the
do.
events, right? Like they're sneaker wearers. A lot of them have the crazy sneakers,
Right.
but they just wear them. They're not like coming to sell sneakers, but just having them come to our event and like be a part of that world.
You see people spending 80, 90, close to $120 on an enamel pen. Shout out to Patchwork.
Yeah.
Like people will spend bread for his pen, like
Like their pins
something
drop
dollars.
like how
Wow.
sneakers drop online. Like,
Like-
you like it
And they're
sells
limited.
out in
They're limited,
seconds.
right?
Not even limited. Like they'll come out with at least 200 and something pens. You gotta think they'll sell
Seconds.
seconds, and you
Like,
buying that pen
websites
for
crashing.
$30. You buying that pen for $30, and you're reselling that enamel pen for a buck.
Wow.
Make it make
So it's
sense.
pretty much like a sneaker.
They
you know,
have
it's like
bots. They have bots.
I was just about
Wow.
to tell you
They
that.
have
Sneaker
bots.
sites,
Just
yeah.
for
Oh, it's
pens and
crazy.
hats.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
sneaker
bigger than
heads.
everything.
Y'all sleeping. Y'all
Yeah.
sleeping.
It's its
yeah,
own world.
y'all really bring me onto something right now.
Bro, I'm taking notes.
Going back to a couple questions ago, you know, you guys,
Yeah.
you mentioned that Urban Collab, you don't want Urban Collab to be a sneaker show.
Yeah, no, I don't. No.
So what's your focus on Urban Collab?
Yeah, what are you thinking about moving forward?
And what's next? That's like a 3-part
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead, Sammy. Take it away.
I feel like it's hard to say because it's one of those things that it like starts to like it's creating its own shape, right? So like as we add more elements into the Urban Collab, I feel like the show's gonna start to develop into what it's gonna be, right? So like we've recently added some other components to our
Follow Urban Collab Music, Urban Collab Fashion and Arts, The
Okay.
Urban Collab, which is our main page,
Yeah.
Pen Formation, and Urban Collab Hats.
Yeah, so we have like 4 other components that we've added. So we've kind of taken the whole vision of Urban Collab and broken it into like branches. And the reason for that is because we really want to showcase those areas. We feel like when we just say the Urban Collab, it kind of everybody thinks sneaker show, right? So we don't want the creatives to get lost in that. So by creating these branches, we're giving them their own platforms. So like I'm really
so at the end,
Yep.
are you guys trying to like create like
A complex con.
Okay.
If you have to think about it, if there's
Yep.
any other
Everything.
sneaker, if there's any sneaker convention or there's any platform that I like and I try to mirror, it's Complex.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only people right now. Complex. I can't go into. I can't
It's
with
just
that. I
the
can't.
reality of it is, and just I think you kind of mentioned it earlier with like the market and everything with sneakers. Like as much as we love the idea of just having a sneaker show and just selling some vendor tables and making some money, because at the end of the day, it's a profitable thing to do, right?
Right.
That's why people do
If
it
you
so
do-
frequently.
If you do it correctly.
If you do it,
Right.
and I mean, let's be transparent. You don't really got to do it correctly. If you find a space that you can fit enough vendor tables and get those vendors to pay you, you
That's
can do
it.
that every 3 months and
Right.
just keep stacking the money, right? But the reality is, how sustainable is that when the market drops?
Right. So you
So
want to diversify
You have
and
to
then
look
just get a
at
little bit of
it-
everything.
You have to look at it from a bigger standpoint, and you have to really say, how can I capitalize on all these markets, right? Because you're already tapped into them.
So in pretty much in other words, you're trying to create anything that is street related. Bring it into no,
Not anything
exactly.
street related, but I think finding the things that we really enjoy
Okay.
Hats, sneakers,
and bringing
fashion,
it all
All
together.
together.
the dancing. that was dope.
Because they had,
Yeah,
the dancing,
everything.
the candles too. The y'all had the lady with the candles, was it? Or
The rug. Shout
Yeah,
out
the
to my boy
rugs.
Justin. Is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the crazy
YBR
thing
rugs.
is when we did our first event, people were really like, yo, you got too much clothes. Yo, you got too much of this. Yo, you got too much of that. And I told her, no, don't worry about that. Because the reality is people are going to see the vision. You got to give them time. Like
The vision
it
is-
doesn't look like everything else. So in their minds, they're like, this doesn't look like this sneaker event I go to or this sneaker event I go to. So it's not right. But as you keep building on it, eventually they're going to, oh, it's not everything else. It's the Urban Collab.
Yeah, like y'all had tattoo artists this time.
Everything.
Y'all had
Barbers.
barbers.
And it makes sense.
We
you
had
know?
the tattoos last year, but they were like,
Oh, okay, well,
they were in
there
the
was
cut.
a-
Yeah,
But I
They-
think we
they-
really vamped up. So everything we tried at the XL, we kind of put like extra effort into it this time to make it a little bigger.
Yeah. Shout out Ride the Needle, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Right
yeah.
to
awesome.
Nino, yeah, yo, all of them. Shout out to all
They're
you guys.
awesome.
So yeah, that's great. You know, you guys like it. Really, it shows. It
Yeah.
shows because like it was when I walked by and I saw the guys cutting the hair, and I was like, God, wow, that's different. Like, you know,
Next
I'm
year,
gonna-
yeah, next year we're trying to have a barber up on the stage. Like that's what
Yeah.
we're doing next year. Like we
But
work-
that's the thing, you can't be afraid to tap into other areas,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
you can't be like, oh, there's a barber expo, oh, there's a hair show, oh, there's a fashion show, oh,
go
there's
there. We go all
It's okay. It's all right to have all that in one space. It's not taking no money out of nobody else's pocket because they're still gonna go to the barber expo.
Right.
That's their bread and butter. That's
Right.
their community. They're still gonna go to their community, but the fact that they can tap into our community is only gonna benefit them. So it's a win-win for everybody.
So you know, you guys are the Urban Collab. You're Hartford core. You know, you're based. You know, you're coming out of CT. You're representing CT. Is there a future where you see yourselves in a different state or moving or having multiple shows in different states?
that would never happen.
No,
Yeah.
maybe.
So
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to bring everything to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Which is a dope thing. You know.
Yeah.
You want more things happening in Connecticut. If I'm not mistaken.
we
that's what
are
you're
trying to keep it a stack. We're trying to build as much we can. I'll keep it a stack with you guys. You guys are the first to hear this. Unexpected.
Drop a horn. Drop a
Make
horn.
sure you
Drop a
guys
horn.
follow. Unexpected. Unexpected. Make sure they see this.
Where?
You know?
What's the YouTube and the IG?
You know,
Drop it.
unexpected. I mean,
podcast.
unexpected. I'm not gonna say the IG. Cause my accent makes me say
underscore.
messed up.
Underscore.
Oh, please, I have to hear it now.
Nah, I just say underscore instead of
Underscore.
Yeah, so I can't get it. I don't know.
Unexpected.
Unexpected, guys. You know, look us up. You know, y'all are a big part as well to why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
I really like that you
You know,
guys
it's-
are doing this. Maybe we can
Yeah.
collab.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
Word.
we appreciate you letting us come on because some shows don't let media or like podcasts. Or
Yeah,
people
next
come
year
on.
let's try
You
to
know.
actually really do it the right way.
Oh, God,
Like,
here she
let's
goes.
give you guys like a
she
table,
goes.
Matter of
put
fact.
you guys up on a stage, like your own stage, and let's do this live.
Matter
Right.
of fact, so you know, me and Noel, we ended up getting just one table.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, and the fact that there was an empty table next to us,
First
You're like,
curve,
bring
you
the
always do
mics.
that.
and you know what do you do? It's like I think after 11:30, if it's empty, go grab it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
If it's right next to you,
Always.
it worked out.
And I think that's a great idea that y'all doing. I don't know if that's something new that you guys brought to the table or like just, you know, it sucks to lose your table, but at the same time, you're
Yeah.
giving that opportunity to someone that maybe couldn't get the tables in time
That
or whatever.
part, Or
need
It's
more
like, you
room.
know,
We was
it-
literally selling tables the day of. People were, yo,
It
can I
was
get a table?
crazy at the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, give me-
Wow.
yeah, at the door. So, yeah, but we are going to, the Urban Collab is, we're going to have another event here
Okay.
in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Definitely next year.
Okay.
You can look for it sometime in the spring, always. But we,
It's hard not to stay connected to Connecticut because everywhere else is so saturated. So
Yeah.
it's like we want to bring that here because there is a lack of it.
Yeah, but we are going to branch out, and you are going to, a lot of people are going to see a lot of changes when it comes to Urban Collab. So yeah, we're really right now we're really in a point of like changing, and that's really the hardest thing is like changing everybody's focus, and that's really what we're trying to do is like really build on all of these other branches we have, like the Urban Collab music. We're trying to really build on. We have a fashion co. Talk about the fashion show.
Yeah, so
me.
so the Urban Collab Fashion and Art is actually going to be hosting its first fashion show. It's going to be called Homegrown, and it's going to be happening in November. So I'll be releasing more information about that.
Most
and that's-
likely by Wednesday. So.
Yeah, and that's really to just promote
Stay
and
tuned,
support
we'll stay
the local designers of Connecticut.
But
Because
wait, it's a fashion show and a brunch.
Yeah, it's a fashion
so you
show
want to
and brunch.
come, eat, drink a
Yeah.
little bit. You know, have a DJ. You're gonna have a good time.
yeah,
So
so that too, like we want to not have basic bitch stuff. I guess like all of our events are elevated. So everything that we want to do it as like big as we possibly can. It ain't gonna be at the Mohegan Sun, but
yeah, no,
it's,
no,
it's gonna
son.
be good. It's gonna be.
You
a
gotta
good
start
event.
somewhere. Right? Start little and then go big.
Yeah,
Right? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Like you said, you're making branches off of the mother base, which
Yeah.
is Urban Collab. And
Well, and it's bringing different things to the community, right? Like because there aren't. Unless you go to like a college, there aren't really streetwear fashion shows.
No,
Most fashion shows are like high end couture stuff.
Right.
This is gonna be a streetwear fashion show, so it's gonna have like streetwear flair. It'll definitely have some style, but it's gonna have that same aspect of like your local designers. So a lot of the people you saw at our event, and just keep expanding on that.
That's what's up. Before we move on, any sneak peek on where the event may be next year?
We don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully, XL Center.
Jeez, you really want that?
She really wants to go back to
I'm
the
on
Which
board
makes
with it.
sense.
I'm on board.
It's the
It's so
hard-
much easier.
XL Center, get some Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we'll upgrade from Frontier.
I got hey, get the T-Mobile box. I'm using it here.
Yeah,
Nah, but shout out
let
to-
us bring in some food trucks or something too. 'Cause
Shout
For,
out to
I
can't
Mohegan
do that
Sun.
for-
That's a good idea.
Our next event will probably be. Samantha hates me saying this, but it's going to be our. We're not going to do an event for 2025.
Okay.
So we're really, and a lot of people are going to start seeing this for 2025. We're not doing an event. It's finally out there. 24, we are going to be doing an event, and that's going to be a really great event. And then we're coming back so hard in 2026 just because we really want to build these brands. Like, we really want to build the Urban Collab music, the fashion and
Yeah.
art. That's
we don't
what-
want to lose momentum, but we don't want to. We know the reality of planning events, and we don't want
Hopefully, the
to.
sneaker market is better.
Now,
Yeah,
Right.
and that too. We're trying to give that a chance to catch up with everything.
now for your Urban Collab music, what is? Can you explain that to me? Because I'm a
He's a
I'm
music guy.
I'm a music guy.
Oh, yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He records
I'm,
videos.
I'm heavily music influenced
Oh, we
and
like
everything.
that.
So
Let's talk after.
yeah, I want to
But
hear
yeah,
that.
tell them what you've been doing so,
So,
far.
again, every branch of the Urban Collab is stuff that we all like. I used to DJ. That's why they call me Hype. That used to be my DJ name.
Okay.
So I am really hype. And the reason why we do the Urban Collab music, what it is basically like short reels of people basically singing their songs and urban fashion and urban clothing stores. So basically the stores sponsor us. We basically do short reels. The Instagram is Urban Collab Music, straight, no underscore, no nothing. And we just basically feature them, give a little story about who they are, and then we're gonna be posting it to our YouTube. So that's basically it. But the goal of that, and the reason why we're not gonna be having an event in 2025, is because we want to travel with it, right? We want to be able to go to LA, talk to stores, have them sponsor it, have local artists from there. It's all about the local people. Complex Con does it on what? Famous people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear about famous people way too much. So definitely you'll hear about a lot of local people from different areas from the Urban Collab. We are actually coming out with a dope magazine next year fall. Like we've been working on that. That's in the
Yeah,
works.
moving.
Like,
Yeah, like
Hype's
we-
also a photographer, so a lot
Yeah,
of that's a passion of hers.
that's a huge passion of mine. So we're definitely going to be coming out with a magazine. It's going to have like a lot of stuff. The magazine is going to be like a calls book basically. That was my inspiration because I love calls.
Okay.
So the calls book, the gray one with the like two hands, that's basically like my layout and how I'm basically going to be building this. It's going to be a book / magazine, but it's only going to be 100 copies. So
There's a lot of small projects that we want to complete, and I think
Yeah.
a big part of it also is Connecticut. Although this is the hub for what we're doing, and we need to bring people into it. So if we have opportunity to go out and expand the Urban Collab, we create a market that wants to come here. So we want people to see the value in coming to events in Connecticut, and that's only going to expand the market for you guys, right? So that's going to be more people that will buy stuff, more people that will come and sell stuff. So it's kind of building on that, right? Like people want to go to SneakerCon in Chicago. Why? They don't care about Chicago. They care about the fact that SneakerCon is there, and sneaker vendors from Chicago are at SneakerCon in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So we want to build that kind of same excitement over sneakers and fashion and music in Connecticut. Like, oh, I need to be at that event.
Like, I want
every year.
Urban
I'm gonna
Collab-
fly out to that event every year.
I want Urban Collab, and the next we're second year at Mohegan Sun. 5th year, I want the Urban Collab with the Urban Collab music. How does that tie into our sneaker event, right?
Right.
I want to be able to have a concert, right?
Oh,
But
they're
you
fire.
got to make it make sense, right? So we're starting now.
Y'all
right?
gonna be a record label soon.
Yeah, we want
Makes sense.
to.
You're building the brand. You're trying to build the
But
brand.
you see the vision now, right?
Yeah.
So you see the vision now, right? So we're gonna have our event will be a 2-day event, but it just won't be sneakers. Sneakers will be a small aspect to it. We'll call like the sneakers will be the marketplace. I'm giving you guys all of the juice. Nobody has this. Nobody knows this because we're very private.
It's hey.
Yeah.
We're
This
private.
is like I can feel your passion.
Yeah.
How you're speaking is like I can
This
see
is
the
how to
passion.
talk
This
to
is
at home
hype. This
too.
is-
Trust
Yeah,
me.
this is all the time.
She's usually
The passion is there. I can see
Yeah,
it.
but
I'm like, just say what you're saying. What do I need to do? What do I need to do?
listen. All right.
me. I'm working with
So
What does this cost us?
the goal is to have a concert, right? Have a concert. At least have one artist come out. We have all of these people that we've been connecting with for the past year, but then be able to have a big concert at our event.
But
That's
creating
part
a
of it.
platform for local
But
artists
create-
to showcase their work, like
Exactly.
how those
Help each
dancers,
other
how
out,
those
right.
rappers are on the stage. That we don't anything we do isn't a coincidence. So like when you see
The
us having
dancers, not a
performers,
coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. Like we're introducing stuff. You got to start to feed people things slowly.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
everything.
way to see the dancers.
Exactly.
The selfie room.
Yeah.
That in our event for 2025, there will be full installations, like full
But
installations.
to give people sprinkles of it and let them see
Full
how they react
installations.
to it. Everybody was taking a picture in that
Yeah,
room. I had
yeah.
all kinds kids, moms, grandmas, dads. Everybody's laying on the bed taking
But
a picture.
we have to introduce that. We have to
You have
introduce
to
the fashion
slowly
show.
give
So then
them
when we have a 2-day event, and part of it is a festival, and we can like all of this stuff is going to come together. People may not understand. Oh, why are they doing this? It makes sense
It's
to
all
us.
gonna make sense over time.
Fire.
Cool. 'Cause so for the local, are you? How do they reach out to you to try to connect and get
You
get
can
going
you can
with that?
email us urbancollabmusic@gmail.com for our. You can just DM me. All you have to do really to get a feature is completely free. It's a free project that we do. All you have to do is just really DM us. Tell us that you want to be a part of it. Follow. You need to be following all of our Instagrams. That's the only thing that you have to do is follow
Yeah.
all of our Instagram handles, and then we'll get you up on the platform.
Now, I got a question for that.
Yes.
When they do send in something and you don't personally like the music, what's what's the vibe on that?
Well,
Listen,
you want to know
I've
what's
had
crazy?
people
Is
contact me.
she's been pretty lenient.
Okay.
She's
I-
been pretty lenient because it's more so about giving people a platform,
yeah,
right?
chance,
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, we might not like it, but
But
somebody
somebody
else
else- okay,
might,
yeah,
right?
that's what I-
But I had one person that hit me up. This dude.
Yeah,
Like, you had a Simon Cowell
Just put it this way: if,
I was like, hey,
just put it this way, if we don't respond,
that's the best. That's the best way to.
yeah,
Okay.
no response.
No responses.
But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a response.
Oh, okay. So, but flipping that, have you had like known, like a local artist, or it's all brand new? Like all these guys, Don Zio
I had
and all those
actually-
guys.
we actually have somebody
Pretty big that hit me up.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hold that for y'all.
I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, look who just hit me up.
Yeah,
And so M. Dot, he was like, oh, that's big. So
yeah.
That's what's up.
we're gonna be working with him definitely.
Because I
Okay,
think
him.
people are seeing that we're trying to show love to Connecticut. And I think people that in Connecticut that are already getting a buzz are like, okay, I want to be a part of this
But
project.
the crazy thing about it is that we get more love, and this is another reason why we're going to be branching out from Rhode Island, from New York, from New Jersey,
Massachusetts.
Mass, big up Mask. But we don't get as many love from Connecticut.
And that's
Really?
that's a common
Yes.
thing. That's a
Yeah.
common
It's a
Common
common
thing.
thing. So
It's
we
special.
noticed that we need to branch out.
I'm surprised because it's like I'm not saying this. I'm straight up. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
look, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna be like, if you suck, you suck. If you're good, you're good. If I'm telling you, y'all are making a difference, and I grew up in Hartford, 20 plus years in Hartford. I
Shout
moved
out
out here,
Hartford.
New Britain now. Shout out Hartford, definitely.
New Britain.
I don't care what anybody say about Hartford. It's my shithole. All right, I love it. I love that place.
Yep,
I don't
heard
care.
you.
So, like I'm from there, and what y'all doing is maybe it's just me. There's haters. Haters. I feel like that's the minority.
Yeah.
The why wouldn't someone like coming from where we're coming from that is doing a great thing? Why wouldn't you want to support that? Why
Right.
wouldn't you
Shout
want to
out
reach?
to-
You know.
It just
we had a huge problem when we first started, like our very first year. If people know the situation, they know the situation with another sneaker convention. Like, if people truly know and they've been around and they've heard about that, we had a huge altercation with another sneaker convention, like big, up to the point where the owner got arrested. Like,
Holy crap!
Oh
what?
damn!
Yeah,
nah,
see?
I didn't hear.
unexpected.
I didn't expect
Unexpected.
that.
I've been following you guys, so I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Okay.
You know,
I
so
heard.
but there's a lot of there's been other sneaker events, and we're not going to say any names to any of this stuff. And then you guys wonder why we don't collaborate, right? There's been other sneaker events that we went to, had ideas saying that we wanted to collab with that sneaker event, and the sneaker event goes off and does it by themselves, takes our idea and goes off and does it by themselves,
Yeah, that's not.
Damn.
That's
and does it by
I
themselves.
hear that a lot. I get that. And
So
I
it's just
get,
like,
you know,
dang, like we went to you guys with this
Right,
idea,
right.
you
Yeah.
guys went off. But you know what the crazy part is? We're so humble about stuff and we're so like chill about stuff that you look at it and it's just like, dang, like, all right. Like, that's why you guys aren't kind of getting your blessings, because it's like we be humble about it, but we're like, dang, that's kind of messed up. Like, why did this person treat us this way? I take it personal every time, but it is what it is, you
Yeah.
know?
Part of business, unfortunately.
It
Yeah.
is, and like, not even to lie, I'm sure something that we said today is gonna try to get done in some capacity.
Oh, yeah, take our ideas,
Somebody's
please.
gonna try to do something that we mentioned today, because it's just the nature of it. I think that a lot of times people
No,
don't realize how much time and effort we really put into
Ideas
creating
aren't
ideas.
sacred. Ideas are
Yeah.
not sacred. We had at our event for Mohegan Sun, let me just give you guys some background. At our event for Mohegan Sun, we had a big vendor that basically had 40 by 40,000, 40 by 40
Square feet.
square feet. So that at least
big
was
space.
that was at least 40 to 50 vendors that can fit in that space. They bombed on us. Well, they didn't bomb on us. I basically walked away from it because I didn't really like the way they were doing business. I was like, you know what? I'm all set. I was literally left with that space and saying, yo, if this space is not filled for our event, it's going to look super empty. We filled that space in like at least 2 weeks. Like,
Okay.
and that was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like a complete blessing. But it's like a lot of stuff happens. I'm just like, dang, like.
Yeah, but a lot of it is learning. It's like a learning process. Like, we have to learn too. Like, after we have situations like that, we always sit back and I'm always like, listen, what can we learn from that? How do we not do that the same way the next time?
Yeah.
And so, like, I think that's something that we've learned from the whole thing is, like, you can't get butthurt. Like, you gotta move forward. You gotta take,
We can't
take it
learn
on the
from it.
chin and keep moving,
Learn
right?
from
Like,
it.
and that's kind of like what we've had to do
And this
in
event
whole
was
process.
this event was a huge learning experience.
Yeah.
Like so many like trials and tribulations and just so many tears. Honestly, like I cried a lot. Like I even cried after the event. Like we did very well for our event. Like if you're taking into consideration how much Mohegan Sun cost, how much it cost to pay for videographers, how much it cost to pay for stage and handling for DJs. We had 3 DJs, and still walk away with something. That's a blessing by itself. But not only that, but like we had so many learning experience from this event that it's just like I'm so grateful we had to go through it. Type, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like high key. If that didn't happen, where would we be right now? You know?
Exactly. Now, when you're a staple, you're the faces of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So when is it to the point where you're walking somewhere and someone's like, hey, can I take a picture? Like, are you
Yeah.
getting? Have you felt that? You know, because
Yeah.
it's gonna
That
happen.
That
So
has
it's
happened
funny
a lot.
because last year when we did the interview with 2
Nah, you go.
J's.
Yeah.
We did an interview with 2 J's at SneakerCon, and it was like all over YouTube. So we started getting, when we would go to sneaker events, people would come up to us because of that. So that's when it first started, and we were kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, we don't really know how to handle this. But we didn't think of it as like, it's us. It was more so, it was 2 J's. Like, that's why people were like amazed at the fact that we got to talk to 2 J's.
the fact, at the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, I'm a big 2J fan.
Yeah.
I
You
love
know,
2Js.
so
Me too.
I'm like, I'm sure. I want to ask, but I don't want to ask at the same time
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to get kind of like stood up and like, oh no, it wasn't us. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I
No, yeah,
remember
we was
that.
on it, and we
Yeah.
thought it was that, but then it's
And
like
it was literally like not unexpected because I love 2 J's, and I was like, we got to get a signed shirt. Like, he's gonna be there. We have
Yeah.
to get a signed shirt. So that was really what we went into it from. And then he honestly was, he's just like the most humble guy ever.
So humble.
Like his manager had to be like, we gotta keep moving because like he wanted to just keep
Yes.
talking
He's
because
a
he was just
humble
like
dude.
we're talking business and he was like giving us a lot of his like his
Jewels,
gems
man.
and I
Free
think
game.
that for me was like when I realized that like yo this like people who come into this, like it literally is like you just have to do the work.
And that-
Because he's like the prime example of somebody who literally went from nothing, like no job, homeless almost,
Right,
right?
right,
Like
right.
and literally like to what he's created.
And yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And I feel like too, going off of that, like a lot of people, and this is something that we can't drop it. It can't be unexpected. We gave too many gems today. We gave too many today.
They're coming out.
You know, we coming out the bag with it. But that's something that we're gonna most likely talk about in our very first podcast when we have it. Is our background. Like we don't like before we started. We said to you guys, don't talk about our background.
Yeah.
And there's a huge reason why we don't talk about our background. But our event, like our very first podcast, we're going to and. I feel like a lot of people are going to be more in tune with me, more in tune with Sammy, and they're going to really be able to be like, dang, like that's a story, like type. You know what I'm saying? Because people just think, oh yeah, like bet. Two girls just came up, they must got money. People see us, they just think money, money, money. But nah, we're getting this out the gutter, like no cap, like no cap. Like you work with my dad,
Right.
like you work with my dad, like I'm just a normal person, but it's like to get to where we're getting to, it's like we're really truly trying to work towards that.
Yeah. So to speak to what you said about, I don't know who said it. I lost the whole train of thought about the people coming up to us.
Oh yeah,
That was
So I will say, funny story at our event. So besides the 2J's thing, we don't get really approached. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, Urban Collab," but it's very like normal. It's not like, "Can I take a picture with you?" Right? No. At the event, an older gentleman and his son were like near the selfie installation, and I was talking to my parents because like our families are a big part of our event. Like they come help us out because it's only us. So I was like talking to my parents and like having like chopping it up with them, and the guy was like, "Can you take a picture with my son?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I like took a picture with the son, and after he took the picture, he like started talking to me like how much he's so happy about the events that we have. His son follows us, and he's really into sneakers, and how he's starting to collect, and he wants to, eventually have a table at one of our events. And it was just like, us having a whole full circle moment. But for me, when the conversation was over, it felt weird because I'm not a celebrity. Like, I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. Like, I'm not anybody. But the fact that, like, his son thought we were somebody enough to like make him feel inspired to do something, I was like, yo, that's the reason why people do the things they do. Like, I get why famous people keep pushing and doing the things they do, because that is like so rewarding to hear like a kid say something like that to you, or even a parent to say, hey, my child is looking up to you. Like that's such a heavy burden to carry, but it's also feels so great.
That's why we try to carry ourselves in a certain way. Like we keep everything under wraps, where people be like, oh, you guys, we're really private when it comes to stuff. Like if you ever go, you never really see drama on our IG. It's just business. Like that's the way it needs to be,
But I also feel like we try to keep it, like people do know, like, yo, your aunt was at the table. Like people know like our family at the events because they're there, they're supporting us, they're helping us out. So I feel like people are becoming part of like the Urban Collab family as well, because it's hard. It's only so much we can keep separate before it all starts to kind of blend together.
Right.
Yeah, and I genuinely talk to people on IG. I talk to you all the time. Like I talk to people on IG, so it's like if you DM Urban Collab and you want to, like, we're gonna talk to you.
It's her.
You gonna get a
Shout out
response.
to
It's
Noah
not
for
me,
making
it's
this
her.
happen.
Word.
She's gonna talk to you. It's not me. It's her.
Okay.
Because sometimes when I get into it with people on IG, I'm like, yeah, I don't even run the IG. That's Sandy.
It's her. It's not me.
Oh man, that's too much.
Unexpected.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
need to
get
get
it
an
now.
unexpected drop, all right?
When I
Whenever
get
time
those-
is unexpected,
Now they know.
unexpected.
When I get those eyes, I'm gonna know why, because she done told them it was me.
Definitely. Yo, that's too funny. That's what you know what's funny, because I be saying,
You do the same thing?
people be writing, and we got a phone for the podcast and all that,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, he's the guy that handles this, he's the guy that handles this, and then they'd be like, well, what you do? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I'm just here.
and I'm the one
Right,
texting,
right.
like, what you,
Right.
But I definitely feel that. And we've been here for a grip, and we really do appreciate you guys
I
coming out.
appreciate you guys for having
thank
us.
you for having
Nah,
us.
y'all don't. Yeah, like this is like amazing, to
It's
have
big
you here.
fam.
We didn't expect for it to be here, to come to this. Like the first show, we didn't have a podcast. The second show, we came with the podcast. We, Noel, definitely thank you to you, because you connected us to them and
Yeah.
made it all happen. And
Anytime.
is there
Big
any?
up to you guys.
Definitely, thank you. And is there anything what do our viewers have to find you guys? I know I'm mumbling my words and
Yeah.
whatnot. but your IG,
The
Facebook,
Instagrams,
all that.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
Platforms.
So all of our Instagrams, our main Instagram is the Urban Collab. It's phonetic. The Urban Collab _ That's our main Instagram. And if you go to that main Instagram, you'll be able to find the Urban Collab Music, Urban Collab Fashion and Arts, Urban Collab Pinformation. We do not run Pinformation. That's not us.
Yeah.
So if
We work with somebody who's pretty big in the pin community. They don't
Really
want to
big.
be exposed.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're
So-
pretty big in the pin community, so
Yeah.
they run that page. And the Urban Collab Hats, which is a page I really hate running. I don't like posting on that page. So if there's anyone that wants to take
Yeah,
take
we're
over
looking
that
for
page,
a collaborator, a hat
please
collaborator.
take over the Urban Collab Hats. I do not like to run that page at all. I hate posting the drops. But yeah, those are our platforms. We're on YouTube, the Urban Collab. We need to get on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, and we're on TikTok, but we're kind of late on that.
Yeah, we're light on the
Yeah,
TikTok. You need to be on
Yeah,
one
we-
algorithm, yo.
She was doing, we were doing some good content there for a while, but you gotta stay up with that.
And you need to be
Every
literally
day.
in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
algorithm. Like we can't
we
do
can't
all of the
do
different
all the
stuff that
different
we want to
areas,
do.
so
Like,
we're gonna have to have like 5 different TikToks, and we ain't got time for that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We're
it's
a 2-man show. It's too much. We already have all the Instagrams. I'm already going crazy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely. So shout out to Urban Collab.
Yeah.
But
This
pause, hold on, wait. Let's shout you guys out. What is your
Yeah.
platforms? This is where we at right now. Let's talk to him. Talk to him.
All
Talk to
right,
him.
hey, this is a pre Urban Collab podcast. There's a good way to start. You're doing it the right way.
Unexpected thing. No. We need to show you guys love. That's enough about we unexpected right here, guys.
We are unexpected podcast.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Where can they follow you guys?
Our,
at?
our other episodes are a little bit crazier than this one. This one is nice and
Calm.
formal and calm.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
follow us at Unexpected Podcast. The underscore Unexpected Podcast on Instagram.
nice.
The
YouTube.
Unexpected Podcast on YouTube. We are out here.
And Facebook.
And we got the Facebook
Gotta
Unexpected
keep the-
Podcast.
Even though we're
Shout
trying
out.
to let go of the Facebook, you gotta keep the Facebook.
You got to keep the Facebook, you know?
I know.
You
Don't
gotta
just wear that, you know.
Some grandmother is going to be watching
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Is going to be watching your
That's
podcast.
right.
You know what's crazy? We get a lot of views. We're trying to get away from the live Facebook.
He was doing them Facebook
Yeah,
Live as
and
we
we-
were filming the
Yeah.
podcast.
So people watch it there, and then
Call
they don't
in
go
and-
into the YouTube. So it's
Nice.
like we're trying to push the YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Unexpected Podcast, it's a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah.
why it's unexpected.
Yeah, that's why
That's
it's
what we like.
unexpected, and we truly hope that when you guys have your podcast running, that it's great.
Thank
from
you
what I'm
guys.
hearing,
Maybe you guys can come talk on our podcast.
definitely. Hey,
About
definitely
having a
gonna be in
podcast.
the
There we
works.
go.
Yeah. So the way it's going is looking like it's gonna be a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
we
Thank you,
wish
guys.
we
Keep
wish
up the
you
good
too.
work.
Yeah,
Thank you,
No,
the
guys.
best
definitely.
thing,
Thank you
so.
guys for the support. That's really what we need, and it kind of gives us more drive every time we hear these things. Because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, we get a little knocked about like, should we keep going? Should we keep doing it? But then when we hear people and people give us the positive feedback, it really helps motivate us to keep us going.
That's a fact. You gonna
Yeah.
make me cry.
Any shout outs you guys wanna any put out
Any
there, anything
closing
like
remarks?
that? Anybody you guys wanna
Shout out to East Coast Per Instance. They were our sponsors for the free T-shirts. Shout out to Spence at
Oh, Just Tees.
Shop Just Tea. Shout out to Andrew, another one of our sponsors.
Visuals by AK.
Shout out
Shout out
to
to Plush.
Plush,
Clothing
our
in
biggest sponsor.
Buckland Hills Mall.
Shout out in Sweetwater.
Sweetwater. He also owns Sweetwater.
Oh, I didn't know that. Plus, he's a cool dude. I run into him all the
He
time.
also owns Sweetwater. So
Okay, I
check
didn't know
them
that.
out too.
Yeah.
They have
Okay.
a New Britain location, and they just opened their location inside the mall in Buckland Hills as
And
well.
shout out to Unknown Clothing.
Unknown Clothing.
Unknown
Okay.
Clothing.
Love.
She making sure you got it right.
Yeah, Unknown that guy. We gotta shout out.
And that's
Unknown.
pretty much it. And shout out to all of the other sneaker conventions in Connecticut.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them, but we're going to shout out for the culture. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, those are our guys.
Shout out to them, yeah, for doing it big in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's Unexpected Podcast, everyone. Just real quick before we head out, I know I was supposed to ship out some stuff. I will be doing that today. We just got the stuff in. So you guys that won the raffle last week, you guys will be getting your stuff. Wrap it up. Thank you again, Urban Collab, for coming out. It's Unexpected
Give him a clap. Give him a
Podcast.
clap.
We'll see you guys.